Hi, I'm Terry Tazioli. Welcome to King County Reads. Need help with your math homework? Well, you don't have to pay for a private tutor. You can find some amazing volunteers at your local library. When it comes to elections, it seems like we're all bombarded with information. But where can you get unbiased facts in many different languages? You guessed it, the King County Library System. And long before there was Google, there were folks at the library waiting to help you get the information you need. Ask KCLS. Falls City is about 26 miles east of Seattle. It's a small, quaint community along the Snoqualmie River, just down from the spectacular Snoqualmie Falls. But Falls City is not actually a city. It's a township with a community council. The KCLS Library is a popular gathering place.
It's just a beautiful view. It's one of the biggest buildings here in Falls City. The building is about 5,000 square feet. And we hope that it's kind of the city center. We have lovely programs. We have children's librarians that bring in the kids from everywhere. We have a school next door. It's just a lovely place to be.
You're looking for a good place to study or perhaps a good tutor? Well, check out the KCLS Study Zone. We're with Annie Pointer, who is the Public Services Specialist for King County Library Systems. And we're going to talk about something I desperately needed as a child, the Study Zone. What's the Study Zone?
So it's free tutoring at the libraries, and we have volunteer tutors who help students in all subjects, K through 12. And students can come in even if they don't have questions. Sometimes students just need a consistent and really positive place to do their homework. So they can come in and work independently. But the tutors are there if they do need help and if they get stuck on something. So it's always the same tutors on the same shift each week. Sometimes there's a substitute who will come in for them. But students can look up the schedule on our website, and it's very consistent. And some kids come, the same kids come every Tuesday. Some kids come every day. And some kids just drop in when they need it and come once a month or every other month as they need help. So we have a list of the tutors' specialties on our website as well, and they can look up exactly who can cover calculus or algebra or statistics. They can also look up who is able to speak a specific language, whether they're studying that language in school or if that's their first language and they need someone who can explain their homework to them in their first language. But we have a huge range of languages represented in our tutors. So there are tutors who speak Farsi, various Chinese dialects, Mandarin, Korean, Russian, Spanish, of course. It really varies. And then we even have people who have studied Latin. They can help you with your Latin or Spanish homework or your French homework or any of the languages that you could be studying in school that you speak at home. We probably have a tutor who we can match up with you.
And how does that happen? As a parent, how do I find out where someone who speaks Farsi, for example, will be?
So if they go to our website, it's kcls.org/study zone. There is a list of tutor languages right on there. And it also indicates what level of fluency they're at in that language. So if they're beginner and they can help you with beginner French, or if they're fluent in Mandarin Chinese and it can explain your calculus in Mandarin.
I know you wanted to emphasize too, this is all free.
Absolutely free.
Free.
And that's the biggest question I get asked is, it's free. It's really free? What's the catch? And it's hard for people to really let that sink in, that it's absolutely free and it's drop in. They don't have to register. The kids get to stay completely anonymous. We don't track any personal information.
It takes a little bit of a burden off mom and dad, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I bring my own son to Study Zone for that exact reason. In second grade, homework started to be not so fun, and we hear that from families a lot.
I bet.
That parent-child dynamic, kids know how to push our buttons. And suddenly homework becomes really stressful and it's not an enjoyable thing to do at home. And as soon as they go in and start working with the tutors, that tutor-student dynamic is different than the parent-child. They're going to be a lot more polite and courteous with the tutors. And suddenly they come out of doing their homework smiling and feeling confident because they're not arguing about it with mom and dad, they're just focusing and working on it. And I've found that to be true with my son. That's why we started going.
That's great.
And so now he's actually developing the skills he needs to be practicing, and there's no drama or tension about it.
Well, and I would imagine that essentially it's soup to nuts on pretty much any subject.
Yes, all
that you want,
subjects.
from what to what?
All the tutors should be able to help any student from grades K through 6 on all subjects. Anything that they bring in, they should be able to help them on. And then they specialize in the junior high and high school topics. And the students can look that up to see who at their branch or at a nearby branch can help them in their specific, more advanced subject that they're looking for. But it's everything, math, science, reading, everything that they can bring in for homework.
Well, and if I want to volunteer, I mean, you must have a good-sized little army of volunteers.
Yep.
How do people do that?
So there's an online application that they fill out, and they have to be at least a junior or senior in high school, and they have to be able to show that they are able to tutor their peers in the advanced academic topics. But most of our tutors are adults who are retired or current professionals working in the banking industry and sciences and tech industry. We have retired history professors and school teachers, a huge array of people that come and want to volunteer their skills. So
Boy, that's great.
at any given time, we have 250 to 300 active tutors.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Throughout the system?
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And they must get a lot out of this too.
Yeah,
Or they
we
wouldn't be
hear
doing it.
back from them a lot that they get a lot out of being able to see that light bulb go on when the students get something, and building those relationships with the students and being able to give back something that is their specialty or their skill, and they're able to really help someone else understand that. So the program is open to anyone K through 12 studying any subject, but we also work with students up to the age of 21 who are studying for their GED test. So we do extend it a little bit for them.
What do you like best about this, about study zones?
Being able to help students who are sort of in between that, they aren't struggling enough that they're going to get assigned help by their school district, and they're not such high achievers that their parents are paying for a private tutor for them, or maybe can't afford to pay for a private tutor for them. But they're in that middle where they need support, but who's going to help them? If you're a student who is new to this country and your parents are still struggling to learn the English language, if they can't read enough English to help you understand your homework assignment, how are they going to help you with it? Those students can come in and they have someone who can sit down with them and explain the homework assignment to them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's great to talk to you. Great to hear about the study zone. I have the great pleasure of sitting with Erin Johnston with the King County Library System. We're going to talk elections. And there's a lot going on with the libraries.
Absolutely.
Give us a quick overview, would you, of how the libraries are involved in the election process?
Well, the library has been partnering with King County Elections and the League of Women Voters. Just recently, we are offering access to voting information. We've got 18 ballot boxes placed at King County Libraries for people to drop their ballots. We also have a variety of election programming this year, and we are offering access to information for ballot measure summaries and candidate forums.
So tell me about some of these. So I'm a voter, and I want more information on particular candidates. What can I find if I come to Falls City or any of the branches in the county?
Well, we're working with the League of Women Voters, and they're offering opportunities for people to come visit at specific times to talk to volunteers from the League of Women Voters, where they can come and ask questions about anything related to voting. They offer nonpartisan information, so it's very factual, and you can ask them any questions about ballot measures or candidates.
And that's what I was going to ask you too, is how do they and you keep this measured so that someone isn't coming in and hearing, this is, my side. We really don't care about their side, but we do.
The fantastic thing about the League of Women Voters is that their entire goal is to help people access the democratic process in a nonpartisan way. So they are offering information just factually, and it provides enough information so people get a good picture of the things that they can vote on, but it's just straightforward facts.
And the League of Women Voters is one collaborator. There are it's also is a King County Elections.
King County Elections, we do work with King County Elections.
How so?
So King County Elections has 18 ballot boxes placed at King County libraries. And then we also work with them to offer access to information. For example, they provide voters' guides to our libraries in a variety of languages. They also do voter accessibility sites at some of our libraries.
Either as a young person or a new citizen, for example. Well, can I get some help here if I've never done this process before?
One of the events, the voter pop-up tables, hosted by the League of Women Voters, would be able to walk you through what you might want to do to fill out a ballot, where you can drop it, how you can register to vote. And another way to do that is kcls.org/elections is a place where you can go and figure out how to register online to vote.
Okay, and so I can come here and find all that out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about, and is this all available in all the branches in the county? I know the Dropbox is not, right?
Right.
But the information, all those things?
At all branches, you can go and speak to a librarian who can point you in the right direction to find the information that you need.
Okay.
But the programs that League of Women Voters is currently offering are not available at every library yet.
Okay. And you've talked about inclusion, and diversity. How does this partnership help you all in that endeavor, in that effort?
Well, I think just by the pure fact that there are so many libraries in King County, they're accessible everywhere. We have 48 libraries with KCLS. Seattle Public Libraries has 26 libraries, I believe. So no matter where you are, you're able to walk into a library and access information through librarians by asking questions through our online resources. So I think that in itself increases the accessibility.
What have you noticed? Are you getting a crowd? Are you getting a lot of people?
The programs are very popular.
Are they good?
Everyone is engaged. Everyone wants to find out information, and people are really excited about being able to access nonpartisan information.
And I would imagine that's something you're learning because this is kind of new for the libraries, right? In the last few years.
I think that there's a reignited interest in making this information available. I mean, the library has always been a resource for voting and elections, just by its very nature.
Right. Well, we haven't said this. This is all free.
This is all
You
free.
Just come in here and do your thing. Okay, so I've got a question. I wanted to back up a little bit. I've heard of pop-up stores. What's a pop-up table?
Well,
It's like, the legs go out.
a big exploding table.
Yeah.
A pop-up table is something that's just not there all the time. So they come and they set up. It's there for a short, limited period of time, and it's for everyone.
And I can find out about those online also?
We have a website,
Okay.
web page dedicated specifically to election information.
Okay.
kcls.org/elections.
It's great. Thank you. This is wonderful, and come on in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You won't
Come
see
on
us there, but you'll see other people who can help you out.
Yeah, anyone
There
can
you go.
help you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're here at the Falls City branch of the King County Library System with Kendall Hodson, who's Chief of Staff of King County Elections, and we're going to be talking elections. The tie-in with libraries, especially with King County Library System, is kind of an incredible thing, and it's growing. Is that right?
That's right. It's really been an amazing partnership. So I've been with King County Elections since 2016, and we came to them really about drop boxes, and so that was really the foundation of the partnership, is really expanding that program to give our voters more opportunity to return their ballots, and it really has grown since then.
Well, now we can all mail them in because they're stamped, so off they go, but the drop boxes are still, it seems, a great way to get people to come into the library to find out more.
We really believe that both are important. So prepaid postage is an amazing tool for our voters. People can drop it in the mail without paying for a stamp, which we love. But there's still a lot of voters who wait until Election Day.
Yes.
We're all procrastinators. And on Election Day, Postal Service really kind of varies sometimes. So the safest thing really is to put it in a ballot drop box. And after you get past 5 p.m., that's really your only option. So we've now got 66 across the county, and let's see, we had 10 at the beginning of 2016. So we've added 50, I'm going to try to do math in front of you, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge.
That's okay.
We've added 56 drop boxes. 18 of those are at King County Libraries.
At the libraries.
Yeah.
How else has the library involvement helped with elections from your point of view?
Well, I mean, they've just been incredibly enthusiastic. So when we brought the Dropbox idea to them and said, hey, we love this idea. Dropboxes are an important service for our voters. We feel like we share a mission with libraries. It's a place where there's community coming already. It's ADA accessible. It's a place where there's often transit service. So we loved that. And they said, absolutely, let's do that. So not only were they amazing to work with in figuring out those locations, their librarians have been incredibly enthusiastic in promoting them to voters. They give people voter registration forms. They help them when they come in and maybe lost their ballot. They can actually access their ballot online through our online ballot marking program and print it out. The librarians at the King County Library branches have return envelopes for them and will help them put them back in, and then often they can walk out the door and deposit their ballot right there.
And you're done.
Yeah.
Does it take any kind of a, I hate to use the word burden, but does it take some of the work off of your shoulders at King County Elections to have this kind of a program going on?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
How
our
so?
partnerships are invaluable to us. Our job, we feel like, is to get the word out and to help remind people to vote. And we see quite a few people, but libraries see so many patrons every single day. So for them to help us carry that message is really amazing. There's some new things that we've started that we're really excited to expand. So in addition to Dropboxes, we also have operated our accessible voting centers. That's a place where anyone can go vote in person if they want to. Not very many people do anymore because of vote by mail, but especially individuals with disabilities. So they can come and use a touch screen, or they can listen to an audio ballot, and that gives them just an additional option for how they can vote. So we're excited about expanding that program with the libraries. We've also looked at some programming with them. We've worked with them on their Talk Time program, which is for English language learners, to talk about voting and how one registers to vote and how voting works in King County. Because especially if you're coming from a different country where things work differently and English is your second language, it's wait, you mail me my ballot? It can be very different for people. So
And that
that's
has
been
to help in a big way for you. People who are new citizens, people who are voting for the first time, all of those kinds of things.
Engagement really starts well before you even register to vote. So an emphasis for us is, of course, people who are eligible to vote, but also those who are maybe on the path to naturalization, or kids as well. The research coming out suggests that civic education, it's important in high school, but you really need to be starting even younger. So really working to reach all those different groups to instill the importance of voting at a really early age.
And one more question about registration. How will that help in terms of libraries and you all? Will there be registration opportunities at the libraries going ahead?
Yeah, libraries do have registration forms available. The other thing that our libraries have done is they have often served as a location for our voter education fund partners. So we partner with the Seattle Foundation it's nearly $500,000 in funding that we provide to community organizations. We funded 33 this year, and their job is really to work to reach underrepresented communities. And a lot of their focus is on voter registration, and a lot of their events have actually been held at King County Library Systems. So they've also been really helpful in that way to say, hey, you want to have a ballot party, you want to have a registration event, go ahead and use our space to do that. So
I'm thinking folks want to do this, use any of the services. They can go to their local King County Library Service branch. They can go online at kcls.org, but they can also contact King County Elections, is that right?
anytime.
This is great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Great to talk with you. Do you need help doing some research? And maybe you just have a question? Well, did you know you can ask KCLS? We're here with Chris McEwen, who is the Public Services Manager for King County Library System. But we're going to talk today about Ask KCLS, Ask King County Library System.
Yes.
I love it. Hiya, Ask. So
How you doing?
I'm fine. So we answered my question. So tell me about Ask King County Library System.
Ask KCLS is our convenient service for patrons who are not in the library. So you can contact us by email, by phone, or by chat.
And I can ask you what?
You can ask us anything. We mainly help people with ebooks, We help people find all sorts of information and also help people navigate our catalog and find the materials that they're looking for, books, movies, CDs.
And Chris, it's kind of a service that's almost as old as libraries. Well, I mean, if you think about it, of course, that's what you're going to do at a library. But
Yeah.
I even remember as a kid calling up the librarian, how far is it from the Earth to the moon? And some wonderful person would do this.
Absolutely, we get questions like that still.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How a typical day?
And we get all sorts of questions. We get lots of challenging questions regarding ebooks. People call us. Some people have never used an ebook before. They got one for Christmas, it's in the
Yeah.
box, or like, what do I do? And we walk them step by step and get them their very first ebook. And it's
That's
very
great.
satisfying. People are really, really excited about that. We have a wide range of databases that we can help people find information, anywhere from consumer reports information, lots of, I need to buy a new mattress, and what's the best mattress? We can steer them that kind of information.
I need that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Call
Let's
us.
go. Yeah.
Call us.
Okay.
We have people who are very interested right now in ancestry and genealogy. They're doing their family tree. We have an Ancestry.com subscription, so we can help people get plugged into that. If often people will call us and say, I read this article, I read this something in a newspaper about such and such. We have the ability to search all the many newspapers and magazines, popular magazines simultaneously, so we can do like a big search, wide search, and often find exactly what they're looking for.
So let's say I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris. I'm looking for blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yes.
Are most of the answers then to me fairly immediate? And can you do it while I'm on the phone, or do you say, well, we'll get back to you, we'll mail you something, whatever?
Generally, we can do it over the phone. If it's complex, if it's a research question, something, that takes perhaps, just a deeper sort of dive into the information, then we will get back to people. And people are usually just fine with that because they realize it's a pretty complicated question. But generally, the questions that we get, we're able to answer in the moment.
How is someone trained to do this?
That's a great question. The training is pretty extensive. You have to be skilled in information sources. You have to be skilled in, and you'll appreciate this, you have to be skilled in how to ask questions. People often call, they're not exactly sure what they're looking for or how to articulate what they're looking for, and so we're trained to ask them questions to help them kind of figure out or focus in on exactly what they're looking for, so that we make sure we get them what they really need.
How big's the staff? How many asks do you have with the library system?
We have got 10
Do you really?
extremely capable, extremely friendly, just wonderful staff members who love helping people.
And it's all free. It's
It
just
is.
free.
There is no charge.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. How do folks reach you?
They can reach us by phone, area code 425-462-9600.
Okay.
They can access us by email. So if you go onto the website and go under the help menu, you'll see a menu item that says contact us, and that'll allow you to email us or connect to our chat, which is available 24/7.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
As soon as we get out of here, I'm calling.
All
I'm
right,
gonna call.
excellent. Call
Okay.
us.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Looking for your next great read? Well, Emily's here, and she has some ideas for you. We're here with Emily Calkins, Reader Services Coordinator for King County Library System, one of my favorite people, who also always causes me to feel just a few pangs of guilt because I never read what you're bringing up. Let's see what you can do today. Go,
All right.
Emily.
So for this episode, I brought 5 books that came out earlier this year that I think haven't gotten the attention they deserve. Okay. My first pick is The Book of Essie by Megan McLean Weir. It's a novel about a 16-year-old girl named Esther Ann Hicks. That's Essie of the title. She's the daughter of a very conservative Republican preacher, and she's also the star of a reality TV show about this preacher's family and his life called Six for Hicks. And at the beginning of the book, she finds out that she's pregnant. So the book is about her trying to decide how she's going to handle this whole situation, and it goes between her point of view, the point of view of a boy that she is planning to marry, and the point of view of a reporter who becomes sort of embroiled in the whole story as well. And each of them has their own secrets and their own things that they're trying to hide and their own motivations. It feels sort of ripped from the headlines. The stories feel really contemporary and really sort of fresh, related to things that we're reading about all the time. It's just a juicy and really fun and compelling read. So that's The Book of Essie by Megan McLean Weir. My next pick is Sweet Little Lies by Kaz Freer. This one is a police procedural, and I think it kind of got lost in the shuffle this summer because it has sort of a thriller-sounding title, but it's really more of a traditional mystery. It's about a young police detective named Kat Kinsella. She lives in London, and as the book opens, she's sort of recovering from a case that's left her pretty shaken. And then a body is dumped in a London square. And it turns out that this person who's died, who's been murdered, has connections to her family past. So it brings up some things that she's worked really hard not to remember. And she has to kind of grapple with that and decide what she's gonna do. I love a flawed police detective. Like, I love a detective who's trying to do the right thing, but also has all of these complicated motivations, and Kat is definitely that. So if you like mysteries with great detectives, this is what I hope will be a long series. So that's Sweet Little Lies by Kaz Freer. My next pick is A Lucky Man by Jamal Brinkley. So I don't know if you can really call a book that was nominated for the National Book Award underappreciated, but we only have 4 copies of it, and we don't have a ton of holds.
There you are, and they really are.
Yeah,
It's just oftentimes somebody gets it and the rest of them are.
Yeah, exactly.
Back
Kind
on
of
the
this
shelf.
hidden gem. So that's what this one is, I think. It's a collection of short stories by, I think it's a debut. And it's about, each story is about sort of young or middle-aged Black men in New York in sort of like the 90s to the present day. They're really wonderful, sort of longer stories that you can kind of like sink into a little bit more. I feel like a lot of the short story collections I've read this year were like really short, sort of punchy, and this is the opposite of that. I feel like you get to be with the characters and kind of dig into their worlds. So there's one, for example, about these 2 friends, these college guys who go to this house party and they're trying to pick up girls and they're not really sure what they're doing. And in the background to that is one of the characters' relationship with his father, whose mother has left, and just these really sort of rich look at lives that we don't always see portrayed, especially in literary fiction, I think. So that's A Lucky Man by Jamal Brinkley. My next pick is nonfiction. It's The Woman's Hour by Elaine Weiss. Women and politics in this country is like a very timely topic. So I'm not sure why this one didn't get more buzz, because it's great. It's about the history of women's suffrage. So it's about the fight to pass the 19th Amendment, which granted women the right to vote. And for me, what's really incredible about this book is we obviously know the outcome, and yet Weiss manages to make it really suspenseful, really like a nail biter. I didn't know that the passage of that amendment came down to a single vote in the Tennessee House. It was like a short timeline, so they had to get the vote basically that day. And if it didn't happen, then the amendment, the time was going to expire and they were going to have to start all over, like decades and decades of work. And so she looks at that particular moment and she brings all of these really colorful characters to life, and the backroom political machinations and also sort of the high-minded ideals of giving women a voice in the government. So that is The Woman's Hour by Elaine Weiss.
Okay.
And my final pick is An Ocean of Minutes by Thea Lim. This is definitely in my top 10 for the year. It might be my favorite book of the year.
Really?
Yeah, it's literary science fiction, which is something that I just personally love. I think fans of American War, which came out last year, or Station 11, which is another personal favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will really enjoy this one. It's set in the 80s, and it's there's a flu sort of sweeping the country, so pandemic, and there is a treatment, but it's very expensive. And so the only way that a lot of people can afford to pay for it is by signing up with this company for what's basically indentured servitude. So they have to travel forward in time. The maximum is 12 years. And once they get there, they're sort of rebuilding the country post-flu and working off the cost of their loved ones' medical care. So the book follows this young woman named Polly. Her boyfriend Frank gets sick. She decides to take the time travel deal, and they make a plan to meet up 12 years in the future. They're going to reunite. She goes forward in time, and of course, things are not what she expected. So the story follows her trying to figure out sort of what the heck is going on, and goes back into their relationship, how they met and fell in love, and it weaves in all of these, again, like really things that feel really timely, even though it's this fantastical story. There's a lot that sort of explores immigration and what that looks like from different points of view, and then it's just this really moving exploration of love and loss and distance and sort of the way that people come together and then move apart. So that's An Ocean of Minutes by Thea Lim.
Ooh, and an ocean of stories
Yeah.
or books.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I have a little reading to do, Emily. It's not fair.
We all do, I know.
Yes, I know we do.
know.
I look, how many books a week do you read?
It really depends on the week, because sometimes they're long. I just was listening to a book that was like 18 hours. I do a lot of audiobook
you?
listening.
Okay.
So, but I would say 1 or 2 a week.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And these are all books you can find at King County Library System?
Yes, they're
as well
all,
as the audios, right?
Absolutely. They're all at King County Library System. A couple of them are actually available now. Like I said, they're sort of underappreciated gems from this year, so you won't have too long a wait, hopefully.
Great.
Yeah.
And so I figure I've got about another month, few weeks to read all of these and get ready for your next, there'll be a test.
Absolutely,
Right.
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
Emily.
Terry.
Thanks very much. You can find more about all of these programs and services at kcls.org. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.